Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to start by welcoming you all here. Thank you for being here to share this very special day, the marriage of Sarah Cam and Jason Lockett. Now, not like me, I was extremely nervous on the run-up to this. In fact, I had to go and do a secret dress rehearsal, and I thought somewhere I could get a captive audience. So I went down to the local nurse's home, Jason's, and I practiced, and it went quite well. They all pissed themselves. But weddings are emotional times. Weddings are very emotional for everybody. Even the cake's in tears.
That's an Odin.
A massive thank you to Shirley and Mark, Ted and Marie. Not only have they brought two wonderful people into our lives, but their contributions towards the day and their hard work on the run-up to the wedding. I'd also like to thank Paula and Simon, Margaret and Billy for their generous contributions. Very, very welcome and much appreciated. A huge thanks to Fiona, Jane and Sophie. You've done an excellent job of supporting Sarah and helping her prepare for this very special day. You all look gorgeous, and especially Sarah. Now, someone might be very nervous right now. He's sat next to me. Look at him. Looks a bit like Mowgli out of Jungle Book. I'm quite nervous.
Now put my shades on.
Jason?
Nobody can see me now, I'm invisible.
So you're feeling a bit nervous, mate?
Slightly.
I'm going to destroy you. Remember that night in Amsterdam?
Hey! Oh my God almighty.
Well, I don't, so you can fill me on a few times. My psychiatrist said it would help me on my coming to terms with things program. I remember the first day I ever met Jace. It was actually in mere Chinese after a night in the wagon and horses. Come
on, the wagon.
Apparently he'd been to some sort of Lockett function, so you can imagine the state. The door flew open, there was this guy stood there. He was wearing like cream chinos and a white shirt with his sleeves rolled up. His lips were wet still with beer. Well, I thought it was beer, but apparently they're just wet all the time. He looked like a reject from Miami Vice. And he was supporting a haircut only a mother could give him. For about 20 years. Anyway, over the next few months, me and Jace became friends. We actually formed a band, and our friendship grew and grew. And over those period of the 20 years we were together, we became brothers. Now, he'd always been there for me. He always picked me up when I was down, and I picked him up when he was drunk. He made me laugh when I was sad, and I picked him up when he was drunk.
Pattern for me, isn't it?
Yes. But no, he's always been there. I remember actually the last time I came to England, and I'd been here a couple of days, and I think we'd gone for a carvery. And I came back and my stomach wasn't quite right. I wasn't feeling right, excuse me, I rushed upstairs to go to the toilet. I sat down on the toilet and I threw up all in my own lap. Now, you can imagine the horror I felt as I shouted downstairs, Jason, come and help. And he did. He took my shoes off and helped me get cleaned up. Now, you may think you're a good brother, a good sister, or a good friend, but you are nothing until you have picked vomit from your best mate's underpants. That is true, unconditional love. That's that's what this man gives me. I was a bit apprehensive about telling that one. As you can imagine, so I saw Ted on Wednesday night and I took Ted on one side and I asked him, what do you think of this? Do you reckon I should include it in the speech? And Ted, he sort of stepped back and looked me up and down. He put his head slightly to one side and he said, you can't put that in your No, just...
They'll believe it.
I went to watch Jace rehearsing with his band the other day. A band I don't like at all, basically because I'm not in it. And I noticed how much his guitar solos had improved, and I made comments on this. And I spoke to Jason. He told me he'd been learning more about music. He'd been learning how to write stuff and how to play stuff better. And that sums up Jace in a lot of ways. He's constantly striving to make himself a better person. He's constantly striving to be a better man. He's constantly wanting to grow and learn. And I think he'll constantly continue to try to be a better husband in the future. And that also goes for Sarah, who makes herself a better person for Jason. I think they both inspire each other. They both inspire each other so much that it's absolutely a pleasure to see. He doesn't have to try to be somebody else or something he's not. He just tries to be a better him, and I think that's something we can all take on board. I never, on a selfish note, I never wanted Jace to find someone that he could just live with. I wanted Jace to find someone that he couldn't live without. And with Sarah, he's found that person.
You're still a tit, though.
Anyway, with Sarah, I'm not just a gorgeous girl, but also a gorgeous person. And I say to watch them together, it's a pleasure to behold. For those of you who don't know, I'm a resident in Australia. And with all its amazing sunsets and gorgeous beaches, women go to shops wearing bikinis, and they wear even less on a night out. But there is nowhere in the world I would rather be right now than alongside my best mate, getting married to Sarah. So that's about me done. I would just like to propose a toast to the bride and groom. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.